Okay, this is a really big deal. I normally wouldn't make a video about this, but I gotta talk about this story. So when you find something like this on the ground, you need to answer one question as soon as possible.
Where the hell did it come from?
And if I run the equipment with this thing broken off, is something else gonna break even worse? Now you gotta put on your detective hat, do a little sleuthing. First thing you notice, this is welded. So wherever this came from, it is not supposed to come off. Then I noticed the threads, there's a lot of dirt in them. So if there was a fastener on here, it hasn't been on in quite some time. Also, the powder coat isn't faded at all. So either this came off as something that is really new, or it's been in a place where the sun don't shine. So the major problem with a welded fastener like this is it's not going to appear in any single manual. First thing I did is I got the caliper out just to make sure I knew the size. I was pretty sure it was a 3/8/16, but it has a very odd length of about 7/8 of an inch. Was I put some photos of this on my social media in one of the Ventrac groups. Immediately, people started chiming in, giving their suggestions. Then I made a call to Jim Hutchins and he said he just saw my post on social media. And we're talking about 10 minutes and then he had another customer call in. He had to take care of them. I was gonna call Barry Fry, but I decided, you know what? I just got off the phone with Jim. So I want to give a huge shout out to Scott over at Ventrac with Jeremy in the background. They're pouring through the books trying to find out where it could possibly have come from. Now this was New Year's Eve. Ventrac employees were let out early, but Scott refused to leave until he figured out the solution to this problem. He calls me back, I don't know, around 4 o'clock. Everybody else had gone for the day with one more thing to check, and you're not gonna believe it. I still can't believe it. Now, it was suggested, among many, many other suggestions, for me to check the dual wheel kit. Yes, the wheel extensions do have all 5 lug studs welded. I have 3 sets of those for a total of 12, and I know that they're all in good condition. Let me show you what part. I wouldn't have even thought to check it because it is not a part that is under a lot of load. Clearly the weld was cold. Let me show you where this came from. This was tricky for a number of reasons. For one, these wheel extensions are not made at Ventrac. These are made by another third-party company that makes these and sends them to Ventrac. What this bolt does in this hole is it prevents the draw cone from spinning as you're tightening up the dual wheel kit with these threads into these hubs. Once you've spun that on, you have to tighten this draw bolt, which pulls in the draw cone, which spreads these threads and prevents the tire from spinning back off. If that cannot be properly tightened down, Ventrac recommends 120 foot-pounds. Potentially, if you're going over really steep terrain and those tires are clawing into the ground, and if there's any slippage, it's possible one of these could spin off. And it's happened to me one time. I'm climbing up a really steep bank here, just over 30 degrees on my property, and next thing I know, I feel a slight bump. I turn around and I see one of my rear wheels rolling down a hill. So the first thing I do is I look around to make sure that
nobody saw that.
So again, thanks Scott, thanks Jeremy, helping me solve the mystery. I gotta get that welded back on. Probably cover that in another video. Anyway, you guys are pretty awesome for taking this time to spend with me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.